not just stories where we are victim of brutality, because at the end of the day, we're not just victims, but victors that stood before you, that fought demons within ourselves and embraced another day to tell a story, to tell our story. We are not perfect and we will never be, but we are. We are magic. We are strong. We are soft. We are beautiful. We are women. We are black women. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about colorism. This video is to talk about colorism and start a conversation about colorism. I believe that this is the first step in combating colorism. Colorism is a skin tone hierarchy that is a byproduct of white supremacy.
Is getting away with a lot of things that somebody of a darker skin tone couldn't.
Cousin or younger sister to racism, discrimination within your own race.
It favors people with lighter skin and disfavors people with darker skin. It's very much tied into a European standard of beauty.
The belief that the lighter skin is better than the darker skin, and the lighter you are, the more beautiful, the better you are in comparison to people with darker skin colors.
Colorism, as opposed to like racism, for example, is within people of the same group. So amongst black people, lighter skinned black people given preferential treatment against darker skinned black people, or so buying products, like in terms of makeup, honestly, like I only just recently started to find like foundations, for example, that actually suit me.
I would have 50 shades of beige and like 2 dark shades, and they'll be like, okay, here's mocha and cinnamon, and you're supposed to try and figure out if that one works for you.
It was more of like you had to find the closest match rather than finding the one that was your definite match, or you had to compromise on a product because it just didn't cater to like your hair type.
I don't really see people of my color. I see like mixed race. They're like the epitome of blackness.
When Fenty dropped, I literally went back to the store and I purchased my shade because I was so shocked that there were like 5 like shades darker than me, which usually if a shade is being diverse, I'm usually where it ends. Actually no, before that I would not even be on the spectrum at all. So
same thing that drives you to prefer a lighter skinned person over a darker skinned person is the same thing that draws racists to think that white is innocent and black is evil. So it is important that when people say they have a preference for a particular skin tone, they have to assess why they have that preference.
I would say you're more likely to look at someone like me as opposed to someone lighter and kind of say, okay, she's probably going to be very sassy, you know, or she's going to be angry the way she talks, right? Or very, I don't know, like that, you know?
When I was younger, I used to play a lot of sports, so I was much darker because I was always in the sun. And like, you know, when it's time for you to hang out with your friends and everything, we would go and hang out at like this place that everybody would go on the weekends. And you know, when you like separate into groups of people, like I overheard someone say, yeah, no, we don't want to chill with her because she's darker. And it's like, why does that matter if my skin is darker? So yeah.
I like this boy. He was half black, and I asked him to dance with me at the school dance. I was with my friend who was white, and I asked him to dance with me, and he said, "Oh, just give me a minute." And I was like, okay, cool, great, I'm so excited. And then when he came back like 15 minutes later, he started dancing with my white friend. And I was just like, interesting. And then I went on Twitter. This was like in 2013 or 12 or something. And his tweets were so horrible. He was saying like black girls are rats, black girls are ratchet, stuff like that. And I was just like, aren't you black? Like, aren't you half black?
Colorism is so huge. You see black guys saying, oh, I would not date a black girl. There's a bit of self-hate there because your mom is black, but I'm not gonna go there today.
The media definitely has a large role to play.
Yeah, they always portray stereotypes like dark-skinned girls are angry and what else? Rude and like just bitter. And I feel like that they've really played that out, and that's not the case. Like,
yeah, music videos, who are you seeing? There's a lot of mixed race people shaking their ass and things like that. Like, you don't
Actually, like in music, I would say, you have a lot of artists, if you watch music videos, most of the like video girls or anything, they're always like the light skins, the ones that look, you know, mixed, never people that are full on black and dark.
They're like 4 white girls because they have to have all their hair colors, you know, the blonde, the brunette, the dark, the raven haired, and then sometimes a ginger, like a strawberry blonde, or like, you know, redhead. And then sometimes they swap out the raven haired white girl for an Asian girl. See, diversity. And then have like a mixed girl, like racially ambiguous, you know, but everybody's mixed now because somebody told me they were, she was a white girl. Anyways, so they'll have a mixed girl with the loose, long curls, and then you have to, she'll tell you she's mixed, and you're like, oh, okay. And then they'll have me. And then I say they'll have me because completed the circle of diversity to as far as we are comfortable with, and that is me with my light but kind of darkish light skin, and then my really thick kinky hair. But it's like I'm quite yellow because I was watching a YouTube channel, and the person said the girl was dark, but she wasn't the darkest dark skin girl I've ever seen. And she said, this bronzer is the last shade in the bronzer, and she was like, I shouldn't be your last shade. And so for me, that moment was very much I shouldn't be your last piece of diversity.
You know, the media for up until recently, they never really embraced women of color, of darker skin tones.
it was mostly white people that were in the movies, and I like romantic movies, like all these love stories and stuff. So it was mostly like white people that I would see like being intimate and kissing each other and stuff. So like when I watched like a movie with 2 black people in the lead and they were in love and they were kissing, I thought it was so weird. Isn't that so messed up? Because like
so messed
that's
up.
all I saw growing up. So it's like
People either have to do like, and usually also like not just black people, but like if you cannot be racially ambiguous black is what I'm saying. Like, so dark skinned people have to either do the best or have to either do the worst to like even get half of that attention that you are giving to like subpar people with lighter skin. For like an example of doing the best is Jackie Aino. An example of doing the worst is Azealia Banks, like with her like rants on the internet. So.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what is so black about this? Like, this is okay, all the kids are mixed, and like they have like very lighter skin tones, and I'm like, okay, like why is it called blackish? This is like, and then it made like mixed-ish. And I was like, y'all are joking out here.
You know, the media has a big role in all of it, because if the media is constantly saying or giving out like bad stories about people of darker skin, you start to think, okay, you know, you tie the pieces together and you say, okay, bad things only happen when you have darker skin. But then if you have only positive stories about people with lighter skin, it's like, oh, okay, so you associate negativity with darker skin, and then you associate positivity with lighter skin. So that's where the colorism comes from.
People who don't really know, are not really around a lot of darker skinned people, that's all you have to take from And if you're constantly seeing dark-skinned people being portrayed as, you know, aggressive, and, you know, they always want to throw hands, they always want to snatch wigs, whatever, you're gonna kind of expect that kind of behavior when you see someone dark-skinned. So when you see something else, you're kind of confused. So it does make sense, but at the same time, people need to be more like open-minded and realize that the media is one thing, and in real life it's not just what you see on TV.
I feel like the media is not helping, or has not helped to further the narrative that dark-skinned girls are beautiful and loved and accepted. But they just said that, oh yeah, if she's dark-skinned, like, she's ghetto, or
Let's do the paperback test. Let's now flip it on you guys. This test to decide if we were good enough for you. I think you can use the same test to decide if your movie is diverse enough. Bag is not where you stop. Come on, you can do better. You can do better. You can do. Yeah, has a large role to play with colorism. Has a large role to play with representation and how people see everyone. How people see everyone.
Is being looked at as nicer, sweeter, more intelligent, neater, cleaner, compared to people that are darker. It's also being accepted, let's say within like an office better, and being seen as more approachable or nicer just because you're light.
White here and dark here. The closer you are to white, the more accepted you are in society. The closer you are to dark, the more you're looked down on and more deeper you are in stereotypes.
And there's also like the whole idea that you're like, the blacker you are, the darker you are, the more black so like you are. So it's like you're not really black like that if you're lighter.
Rather date a light-skinned chick over a dark-skinned chick because dark-skinned girls are ratchet. But you know, look at this light-skinned shorty over here, and it's like,
what are you mixed with? And I'll be like, oh, I'm mixed. Oh. Yeah. That was very sad. Like, it's like my black is not enough to be beautiful. Like, I need to be mixed with something. Why? So
oh, that wasn't my experience. Just exaggerating. It's not that deep. Who cares about your skin color? But it's very easy to ignore these things when you're not experiencing it directly or firsthand.
The thing about privilege and oppression is that, like, people like to relate to the oppressor and not the oppressed.
You should be an ally. You know, you should speak. Like, if you see something happening that looks discriminatory against someone that's darker, you know, like, you have to say something.
In cases where you see people insulting like darker skinned people, stand up and be like, that is not okay.
if you are silent when a black woman is being bashed, you are equally an oppressor.
So, lighter skinned people, most light skinned people that I have even come across, they play ignorant. arguments. They're like, oh, we don't, what do you mean? Like, no, we don't have light skin privilege, blah, 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 blah. I've had arguments with and I'm like, come on, you cannot, please, I'm not stupid, I don't believe you're stupid. Admit to it, because when you admit that you are treated differently because of your skin color, you are able to stand up for people that are oppressed.
Let's say an establishment is colorist, maybe do not support them, because if you continue to support oppressors, they will continue to oppress.
Do not forget that dark-skinned women are human.
Some of them, they just laugh. Like if they're like insulting like a dark, they'll be like, ha 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 ha, and it's like, and then later they'll be like, oh, it was just a joke. Like I didn't really want to get into it.
If this is just an ordinary preference, then why do we waste our time calling out racists for preferring whiteness over brownness or blackness? Because we've already been told that white means innocent or holy or angelic or close to God, while black is of the devil, evil, darkness, and anything gloom.
There's still things that I think that are in my head that I don't realize that I do because I know, like, you know, I'm dark skinned as opposed to light skin. Or like, for example, if I'm going out and all my friends that I'm with are light skinned, I kind of just have it in my head like, oh yeah, just don't expect to get approached tonight. Like, just know no one's moving to you tonight. Like, let your friends shine. And it's like I'm almost comfortable with that idea. Like, I just accept it as it is. Like, it's not like I'm going and I'll cry myself to sleep or anything. I've just kind of accepted, but a lot of people go through like depression, they go through like low self-esteem and low self-worth because of colorism. I'm just lucky enough to say that I have been able to surpass those struggles.
When you're on the more negative end of the spectrum of colorism, it definitely begins to affect you. Like, people resort to like methods like bleaching or staying inside all the time so you don't get like darker from the sun, and you start trying to change yourself so that you can fit into society instead of just learning to love that you're different and you're not like everybody else.
You're beautiful the way you are, but then I wouldn't blame someone who wants to bleach their skin to feel beautiful, because everywhere you're going they're calling you shit or like, oh, and they're making all these jokes and things get to people, right? So
like, okay, it's not that you don't feel welcome because you are dark skinned. It's more or less like you don't feel welcome because of people's reactions to you. Like, you,
I guess in a way, like, there are times where, like, okay, maybe because I could be a darker skin tone than anybody of my same race, sometimes, you know, insecurities come into place. Like, you know, sometimes you feel like, I know, maybe I felt like I want my skin to be brighter, but over the time and over the years, I've just kind of learned to just really accept who I am as a person and accept the skin that I'm in and the body that I'm in, and just embrace it and embrace me for who I am.
Accepted. People want to feel wanted, want to feel beautiful. So they then are like, okay, this is the only way I can get to where I want to be. Like, if I bleach my skin, if I'm just like, let me say 3-4 shades lighter, then I will be accepted by everyone.
Your skin just becomes more sensitive and more susceptible to damage and like scarring and things like that. So it's kind of counterintuitive, because you're lightening your skin because you want to look, you know, fresher and lighter and better. But actually, when you use these products, you end up not really getting the desired result.
Light skin is not the right skin and dark skin the bad skin.
And to like bleach their skin so that they can feel among. It's not safe, they don't feel like they're beautiful, but like if you feel you're beautiful but someone else is telling you you're ugly, it's like, okay, you live in this dual world where it's like, okay, you believe this about yourself but other people are saying something about you, so it's like you're trying to blend in, and the media has a lot of role to play in that, and they need to do better.
Your skin can be fresh and dark, like they're not mutually exclusive.
Society is teaching us that you're not the right color, so we're not going to accept you. And everybody wants some acceptance at the end of the day.
Ever faced colorism yourself?
So and so.
Like, I would say there's a lot of like internalized hate that comes also when you're constantly shown that, okay, you're a bit less than because of your skin tone. Like, okay, facts, you're black, that is a bit less than, but then you're dark skin black, right? So that's like a different level.
If I'm with my light skinned friends, we could probably get in free. Like, we could probably get in free to the club.
I feel like I don't want it to affect me too much, but like it does, unfortunately. Like in like my workplace, I can't be getting too angry or getting too loud because I don't want them to label me as being ghetto or as being like an angry black girl, you know what I mean?
Stronger because of it, because then your identity doesn't really come from your outside, it comes from yourself. You have to build up that resilience, because if you don't, you will be depressed.
Well, I guess I get this quite a lot. People tell me that, I'm classier than they expected. Not sure what you expected.
And then there's the stereotypes they assign to blackness, right? So like I enter, like let's say I get a job or like I go for like an interview and I kind of have to worry about a set of different things as opposed to someone that may be lighter than me, you know? So I'm going to have to worry about, okay, do they hire black people here? And even if they hire black people, do they hire black people like me? Because some places will not hire girls that are really dark, right? They will hire girls that are a bit lighter because the assumption that girls that are a bit lighter are maybe more approachable. And
Only hits black skin. I go to some places and they're like, oh my god, I love your color. You're so blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay.
Tindaku. Kind of thing, where they're like, it's kind of like, oh, okay, you're getting darker, so what are you doing kind of to adjust your skin tone?
Just because I'm dark skinned doesn't really mean I'm aggressive or ratchet, and it's not just me. I know so many dark skinned people that are so well mannered and well spoken. Like, it's just about your upbringing. It has nothing to do with the color.
Everybody should be treated as an equal despite your skin tone. Like, we're all human beings at the end of the day. We still eat, drink, sleep, think the same way.
First of all, we're all black, so I don't understand. But saying black or so dark as a way to put people down.
Telling lighter skin or fair skinned people that they are fair skinned as a compliment.
We use things like you are a light skinned girl as a compliment. It's uncomfortable and it's wrong.
Someone or like just like give a comeback at, let's say, an insult. One of the first thing is that insult towards like how dark you are. Oh, look at your black face.
Pineapple. And it's so funny because back then I really thought it was a compliment, but like now that I think about it, it's like, why are you calling me food? And then obviously I don't have it worse because that's actually kind of cute, if you have a significant other and you play like that, that could be cute. But like darker skinned women,
compare dark skinned women to cockroaches.
Look at her burnt face like charcoal. Like, no, it shouldn't be that.
I don't want no cockroach looking bitch.
Or her black you do.
I don't understand this. Like, it really upset. Like, I remember I saw this on Twitter. Someone was like, those cockroaches with lipsticks. And I was thinking, why are cockroaches wearing lipsticks? And then
considered an insult, you're dark. And you're looking white. Why is that? Why does that make you feel good? So there's also a lot of internalized work. Like, I would think that people need to work on.
And over the years I've just kind of learned to just really accept who I am as a person and accept the skin that I'm in and the body that I'm in and just embrace it and embrace me for who I am.
Beautiful is to follow more influencers that look like you. I think there was a time where my social media was filled with a lot of like light-skinned girls, and I didn't realize, like, I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't really realize it was an issue. But then recently I was like, none of these people look like me. I can't really relate to any of this. So I think I just started to follow people with my skin tone, and that has really helped me because it shows me, you know, ways that I can do my makeup, ways that I can style myself.
Advise them, like, you know, just really embrace who you are, love who you are, love the skin that you're in. Like, you are remarkably beautiful inside and out, regardless of what anybody has to say or what the media has portrayed about when people have different skin tones. Just know that you are a different individual.
They're perfect just the way God created them.
Yeah, like I feel like we have to start telling kids that
I'm
as
gonna
a
beat it
young
into them. You better love yourself. Oh my God.
If you don't like my skin, you can kindly fuck away. We're beautiful just the way we are.
I do whatever I want to do, and I don't really feel like, oh, I'm dark, I can't do that. No, I'm gonna do it. Come check me. Come check me.
Whenever I see little black children, I'm like, oh my God, I love your hair. You're so beautiful. Like, I always try to make an effort to say that to them because I don't think I heard that enough when I was younger.
And to stop treating dark skin like it's a disease.
If you don't like dark-skinned girls, that's fine. We don't want to know. We probably don't like you either.
I see how colorism is tearing apart our community, and personally I don't like it.
It all boils down to representation. When you start to see people like you, your skin tone doing so well, it's like, okay, I don't need to bleach. I don't need to be 3 shades lighter to be successful. I mean, it will be a little bit harder to get there, but I can get there being me, being who I was born as.
Goosebumps.
Thank God for awareness now.
Colorism is such a bad thing and why it shouldn't exist.
I don't necessarily want to say that, oh, we should all be like, you know, in the leading, like, you know, powerful. It doesn't always have to be like that. Like, but if you just see us being ourselves, being normal, you kind of normalize the idea of dark-skinned people because it's like normal. It's actually normal. Like, it's actually normal.
Hi, my name is
I started this conversation, and I encourage you to do so as well.